Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. So recently I have created my own YouTube channel for all the UPSC aspirants out there to help them during their UPSC preparation journey. So this is going to be the first video on my YouTube channel where I'll be talking about India's foreign policy and its principles. Now, before starting today's session, I would like to request to all my viewers to kindly subscribe to my channel for more updates and UPSC related content. And if you have any query or any doubt related to the video or the topic, then please comment down below in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer all your queries. So, without any further ado, let's just start with today's session. I have particularly chosen this topic, foreign policy, because it is very important topic in the current context. So before explaining what is India's foreign policy, I would like to start the today's session by asking everyone a simple question: that what do you mean by foreign policy? What exactly foreign policy is all about? So foreign policy is simply means how a country manages its relationship with other countries and international organizations or bodies by using different sets of strategies. Now, these strategies could be economic strategies, it could be political strategies, or it could be military strategies, etc. So, in case of India as an independent country, it means how India manages its relationship with other countries of the world in order to promote its national interests. And it is determined by a number of factors. For instance, history, geography, leadership, political organization, its social structure, etc. So coming to the principles of India's foreign policy, the first and the foremost principle is the promotion of world peace. In fact, there is a famous quote by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru which says that peace to us is not just a fervent hope, it is emergent necessity. India's foreign policy aims at the promotion of international peace and security. Peace is a necessary condition to promote the overall economic development of nations. So, without peace or without establishing peace or in the absence of peace, you cannot flourish or you cannot experience or witness economic development. So, in order to experience economic development, you first have to establish peace, and then you can experience or follow the path of economic development, whether at individual level or at global level. The second principle of India's foreign policy is anti-colonialism. Since we all know that we having a legacy of colonial past, the India's foreign policy outrightly opposes colonialism and imperialism, because both of these concepts or ideas leads to exploitation of weaker nations by the imperialist powers and affects the promotion of world peace and security. In fact, the present neo-colonialism and neo-imperialism is also being opposed by India. The third factor or principles of India's foreign policy is the idea of anti-racialism. So which is also an important aspect of India's foreign policy, because just like colonialism and imperialism, this is also leads to exploitation of the blacks by whites, leads to social inequities, and hinders the promotion of world peace. The fourth principle of India's foreign policy is the concept or the idea of non-alignment. Of course, as a UPSC aspirants, I'm assuming that we have heard this term for so many times. So it all began during the Cold War era, when the world was divided into two poles or two blocks. One was headed by USA and the other was headed by the former USSR. So when we say that India follows a policy of non-alignment, it means that India has no military alliances with countries by either bloc or with any nation. India has an independent approach to foreign policy. India attempts to maintain friendly relations with all the countries out there. So the fifth principle of India's foreign policy is the concept or the approach of panchseel, which simply implies the five principles of conduct in international relations, which includes mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, non-aggression, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. India explained the idea of panchseel based on the concept of universalism as against the concept of balance of power. So panchseel and non-alignment both are considered as one of the greatest contributions of India to the theory and practice of international relations. The sixth principle of India's foreign policy basically deals with Afro-Asian bias. India has always exhibited a special bias towards the Afro-Asian nations. It aims at promoting unity among them and also secure for them a voice and an influence in the international bodies. As a result, India has also earned the name of Big Brothers from many of its neighboring countries. The seventh principle of India's foreign policy is the links with Commonwealth. So Commonwealth is basically a voluntary association or a group of countries of independent nations which also share a common colonial past. So in the year 1949, India declared the continuation of her full membership of the Commonwealth of the Nations and the acceptance of the British Crown as the head of the Commonwealth. But it does not affect India's sovereignty in any manner. The eighth principle of India's foreign policy basically talks about its extended support to the UNO, which stands for United Nations Organization. India became a member of UNO in 1945, and since then it has been supporting the activities and programs of UNO. It has expressed full faith in the objectives and principles of UNO. For instance, India actively participated in the UN's peacekeeping missions in Korea, in Congo, Somalia, Cambodia, Mozambique, etc., and has also participated as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council on several occasions. The last principle of India's foreign policy is the idea or the approach of disarmament. So disarmament basically means the act of giving away or taking away all of your weapons. And India's foreign policy is opposed to arms race and advocates the idea of disarmament, both conventional as well as nuclear arsenals, which are aimed at promoting world peace. However, India has kept its nuclear options open by not signing either of these treaties. For instance, NPT, which stands for Non-Proliferation Treaty, and CTBT, which stands for Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, due to their discriminatory nature, with the ultimate goal of establishing international peace and security. So on and all, we have covered the 9 principles of India's foreign policy in this video. So we are done with today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.